Mastering inner strength, a Stoic approach to mental discipline. In a world that's always buzzing with noise and anxiety, do you ever feel powerless? Like you're being pulled in 1,000 different directions by deadlines, opinions, and a never-ending stream of bad news. You react, you worry, you lose sleep, and you can almost feel your inner peace slipping through your fingers like sand. But what if I told you that a 2,000-year-old philosophy holds the key to building an unshakable inner fortress? The Stoics, from the slave-turned-philosopher Epictetus to the Roman Emperor Marcus Aurelius, were masters of mental discipline. They understood that while we can't always control the storm outside, we can become the unwavering captain of our own ship. This isn't about suppressing your feelings or becoming cold and detached. It's about cultivating a deep inner strength that helps you navigate life's storms with clarity, courage, and calm. It's the art of mastering your inner world, no matter what the outer world throws at you. In this video, we're going to explore 7 practical Stoic exercises you can start using today. These are the tools that build an unbreakable mind and help you take back control. Let's be real about the challenges we're up against. We live in an age of chronic anxiety, overwhelmed by choice, and paralyzed by comparing ourselves to others. We lose our temper over small things, a slow driver, a critical comment, a plan that goes sideways. We spend our nights replaying past mistakes, and our days worrying about a future that hasn't even happened. As the philosopher Seneca said, we are more often frightened than hurt, and we suffer more from imagination than from reality. This suffering comes from a basic mistake in how we think. We believe our happiness depends on external things, getting a promotion, our partner acting a certain way, or people liking us. The Stoics saw this as the root of almost all human misery. The undisciplined mind is constantly reacting. When things go well, it's euphoric. When things go badly, it's crushed. It lets knee-jerk emotions and other people's opinions dictate how it feels. The Stoic path is different. It's about discipline, reason, and understanding that the real battle isn't with the world, but within your own mind. And these 7 exercises are your training. The first exercise, the view from above. Our first exercise is a powerful way to shift your perspective, called the view from above. Most of our anxieties start because our focus is too narrow. We get fixated on one problem, a deadline, an argument, an insecurity, and it feels like the biggest thing in the world. Marcus Aurelius practiced an exercise to break this illusion. He would often mentally zoom out. He'd think about the sheer vastness of the universe, of all of time, and the billions of people who have lived and died. He wrote, "Think of substance in its entirety, of which you have the smallest of shares, and of time in its entirety, of which a brief and indivisible interval has been assigned to you, and of fate, and how small a part of it you are." So here's the exercise. The next time you feel overwhelmed, close your eyes. Imagine you're floating upwards. See yourself in your room, then your house, then your city. Keep rising until you see your country, and then the earth itself, a blue marble in the blackness of space. Float even further, past the planets and galaxies. From way out here, look back at that tiny, shimmering dot. Everything that has ever happened to anyone has happened right there. Now, try to find your problem. Try to find the argument or the deadline that was causing you so much stress. From this cosmic view, it shrinks. You see it for what it is, a tiny event in a massive cosmos. This isn't meant to make you feel like your problems don't matter. It's a tool to give you perspective. It breaks the spell of anxiety and reminds you that your life is a brief, precious moment. Practicing the view from above lets you return to your problem, not with panic, but with a calm and rational mind. The first exercise, the view from above. Our first exercise is a powerful way to shift your perspective, called the view from above. Most of our anxieties start because our focus is too narrow. We get fixated on one problem, a deadline, an argument, an insecurity, and it feels like the biggest thing in the world. Marcus Aurelius practiced an exercise to break this illusion. He would often mentally zoom out. He'd think about the sheer vastness of the universe, of all of time, and the billions of people who have lived and died. He wrote, "Think of substance in its entirety, of which you have the smallest of shares, and of time in its entirety, of which a brief and indivisible interval has been assigned to you, and of fate, and how small a part of it you are." So here's the exercise. The next time you feel overwhelmed, close your eyes. Imagine you're floating upwards. See yourself in your room, then your house, then your city. Keep rising until you see your country, and then the earth itself, a blue marble in the blackness of space. Float even further, past the planets and galaxies. From way out here, look back at that tiny, shimmering dot. Everything that has ever happened to anyone has happened right there. Now, try to find your problem. Try to find the argument or the deadline that was causing you so much stress. From this cosmic view, it shrinks. You see it for what it is, a tiny event in a massive cosmos. This isn't meant to make you feel like your problems don't matter. It's a tool to give you perspective. It breaks the spell of anxiety and reminds you that your life is a brief, precious moment. Practicing the view from above lets you return to your problem, not with panic, but with a calm and rational mind. The second exercise, the dichotomy of control. This next exercise is the foundation of all Stoic practice. If you can master this one idea, it will change your life. It's called the dichotomy of control. The philosopher Epictetus taught that our main job in life is to separate things into two buckets, what's in our control and what's not. He put it simply, some things are in our control and others not. Things in our control are our opinions, our desires, and our own actions. Things not in our control include our body, our reputation, and what other people do. Think about it, almost all our frustration, anger, and anxiety comes from trying to control things we can't. You're stuck in traffic. You can't control the cars ahead. You can only control your response. You can slam the steering wheel and get angry, or you can accept it, put on a podcast, and practice patience. Someone criticizes you unfairly. You can't control their words. You can only control whether you let their opinion shatter your peace. I once heard a story about a project manager named Jason who was terrified before a big presentation. He was obsessing over things he couldn't control. What if the client's in a bad mood? What if they don't like me? His mentor saw his panic and drew a circle on a whiteboard. Inside this circle, she said, write down everything you have 100% control over. Jason wrote, my research, the quality of my slides, how much I practice, my attitude. Now, she said, outside the circle, write everything you don't control. He quickly wrote, the client's final decision, their mood, the traffic on the way here. Looking at the board, it clicked. All his anxiety was focused on the things outside the circle. All his power was in focusing on what was inside it. This is your exercise. Next time you feel stressed, grab a piece of paper and draw that circle. List what's truly up to you and what isn't. Then, make a conscious choice to pour your energy into your circle of control and practice accepting what's outside of it. This doesn't guarantee you'll always get the outcome you want. It promises something much better, inner peace, no matter the outcome. The third exercise, voluntary discomfort. Our world is obsessed with comfort. We have climate-controlled houses and food delivered to our door. But the Stoics knew a vital truth. A life of constant comfort makes you fragile. To build real mental strength, you have to practice discomfort on purpose. Seneca, one of the wealthiest men in Rome, would regularly practice poverty. For a few days at a time, he'd eat simple food, wear rough clothes, and sleep on the floor. He wasn't doing this to punish himself. He was vaccinating himself against misfortune. He wrote, "Set aside a certain number of days, during which you shall be content with the scantiest and cheapest fare, saying to yourself the while, 'Is this the condition that I feared?' When you willingly face small hardships, you prove to yourself that you can handle more than you think. Adversity becomes less scary because you've already faced a version of it by choice. As Seneca taught, difficulties strengthen the mind as labor does the body." So, here's the exercise. Intentionally introduce small, voluntary hardships into your life. Take a cold shower for 30 seconds. Skip a meal and practice fasting for a short period. Sleep on the floor for one night. Go for a run in the rain instead of waiting for perfect weather. Leave your phone at home when you go for a walk. The point isn't just to suffer, it's to train your mind. Every time you do this, you're telling yourself, "I am not a slave to my comforts. I am strong. I can handle this." It strips away the fear of loss. When you know you can be okay with very little, you're no longer terrified of losing everything. You become free. We're about halfway through. If these ancient strategies are clicking with you and helping you think about building your own inner fortress, take a second to hit the like button and subscribe. We're a community of modern-day Stoics on this path together. Let us know in the comments which exercise has hit home for you the most so far. Now, let's get to the fourth exercise, a crucial tool for managing your emotions. The fourth exercise, the discipline of assent. Have you ever had a flash of anger or a wave of anxiety that just hijacked your mind? The Stoics had a practice for this exact moment. They called it the discipline of assent. Epictetus taught that it's not events that upset us, but our judgments about them. An impression flashes into your mind. For example, your boss walks by without saying hello. The immediate thought is, "She's mad at me. My job is in trouble." This thought creates instant anxiety. An undisciplined mind immediately assents to or agrees with this thought. It accepts it as true without question. A disciplined, stoic mind does something different. It pauses. It creates a space between the thought and the emotional response. It looks at the thought objectively. Epictetus gave this advice. Don't let the force of an impression, when it first hits you, knock you off your feet. Just say to it, "Hold on a moment. Let me see who you are. Let me put you to the test." Let's apply this. Your boss walks by. The thought, "She's mad at me," pops up. Now, you pause and test it. Is this a fact or just my interpretation? It's an interpretation. What are other possibilities? Maybe she was distracted. Maybe she didn't see me. Maybe she's rushing to a meeting. Is my anxiety helpful or rational, given these other options? No, it's not. That mindful pause is where you reclaim your power. You're no longer on autopilot. You are choosing how to respond instead of letting a false story run the show. Here's the exercise. For 1 week, try to be the gatekeeper of your mind. When a strong negative thought comes up, don't just accept it. Say to yourself, "Hold on, let me test this." Separate the event from the story you're telling yourself about it. You'll find that most of your negative emotions come from assumptions, not facts. This one habit can drastically cut down the needless anxiety in your life. The fifth exercise, Memento Mori and Amor Fati. This next exercise is a powerful 2-part meditation designed to create both urgency and acceptance. The concepts are Memento Mori and Amor Fati. First, Memento Mori, the Latin phrase for "remember you will die." This might sound dark, but for the Stoics, it was motivating. Gently remembering that your time is limited is a powerful way to clarify what truly matters. Marcus Aurelius wrote, "You could leave life right now. Let that determine what you do and say and think. When you really get that your time is finite, all the trivial stuff just falls away." The fear of what people think, procrastinating on your goals, holding petty grudges, you see it all as a foolish waste of your precious time. The exercise is to bring this reminder into your daily life. Some people use a phone wallpaper or a daily calendar alert that says, Memento Mori. Before you get into a pointless argument or waste an hour scrolling, let that reminder whisper, "Is this the best use of the time I have?" It's a call to live with purpose. The second part is Amor Fati, or a love of fate. This is about more than just accepting what happens to you. It's about learning to love it. Not just the good stuff, but the bad stuff too. The triumphs and the disasters. The Stoics knew you couldn't control what fate delivered, only your response. Amor Fati takes this a step further. It's choosing to see every event, no matter how tough, as an opportunity. A difficult boss is a chance to practice patience. A failure is a chance to build resilience. An obstacle isn't blocking the path. The obstacle is the path. The exercise for Amor Fati is all about reframing. At the end of the day, think of one thing that went wrong. Instead of wishing it hadn't happened, ask yourself, how can I see this as an opportunity? What strength can this build in me? When you learn to love your fate, you become invincible. Because if everything that happens makes you better, then nothing can truly break you. The sixth exercise, the Stoic Journal. The only reason we know so much about Marcus Aurelius's inner world is that he wrote it down. His famous book, Meditations, was his private journal, a tool for self-reflection and practice. The Stoics saw journaling not as a simple diary, but as a conversation with the wisest part of yourself. In a world that constantly pulls us outward, journaling pulls us inward. It's where you can process the day, check in on your actions, and make sure they line up with your values. Seneca described his own evening routine. "I examine my entire day and go back over what I've done and said, hiding nothing from myself, passing nothing by." This isn't about beating yourself up. It's about honest analysis, so you can be a better person tomorrow than you were today. Here's the exercise. Start a simple, nightly journaling practice. It only takes 5 or 10 minutes. Just answer 3 powerful prompts. Where did I act with virtue today? Acknowledge your wins. Maybe you were patient in traffic or had a tough conversation you've been putting off. Where did I fall short? What could I have done better? This is for honest review, not shame. Did you lose your temper? Procrastinate? Just note it without judgment. How can I use this to be better tomorrow? Make a simple, actionable plan. Tomorrow, when I feel frustrated, I'll take 3 deep breaths before I respond. This daily habit creates a powerful feedback loop. It builds self-awareness and ensures you are consciously and deliberately shaping your own character day by day. The 7th exercise, acting with virtue. All the previous exercises, perspective, control, resilience, and reflection, lead to this final practice, acting with virtue. For the Stoics, the whole point of philosophy was to live a good life, and a good life was a virtuous one. They focused on 4 cardinal virtues as the compass for all behavior. Wisdom, the ability to see the world clearly and navigate it with reason and calm. Justice, treating others with fairness, kindness, and respect. Courage, not just physical bravery, but the moral courage to do the right thing, even when it's hard. Temperance, self-control and discipline, mastering your desires instead of being a slave to them. These aren't just abstract ideas, they're a practical guide. As Marcus Aurelius said, waste no more time arguing about what a good man should be one. The final exercise is to use these virtues as a filter for your decisions. When you face a choice, big or small, just pause and ask, what is the wise thing to do? What is the just thing to do? What is the courageous thing to do? What is the temperate thing to do? Should you gossip about a coworker? Justice says no. Should you have that difficult conversation? Courage says yes. Should you indulge in another hour of scrolling? Temperance says no. Should you react to an insult with rage? Wisdom says no. This practice elevates your life from a series of reactions to a set of deliberate, principled choices. This is the goal of your Stoic training. The other exercises quiet the noise so you can finally hear the voice of virtue inside you. Conclusion. We've walked through 7 powerful Stoic exercises. The view from above. For perspective, the dichotomy of control to focus your energy, voluntary discomfort to build resilience, the discipline of assent to master your emotions, Memento Mori and Amor Fati to live with purpose, the Stoic journal for reflection, and acting with virtue as your guide. Mastering inner strength isn't something you achieve one day. It's a lifelong practice, a commitment you make each day to be the master of your mind, not its slave. It is the quiet work of building an inner fortress that no external event can breach. The chaos of the world isn't going away. The storms will keep coming, but you don't have to be tossed around by the waves. The Stoics gave us the tools to grab the helm, steer with wisdom, and find peace not in a calm sea, but right in the heart of the storm. That power is, and always has been, within you. If this guide resonated with you, show your support by liking this video and subscribing for more practical philosophy. The real magic happens when you apply this knowledge. So, share your journey in the comments below. Which exercise are you going to commit to practicing this week? We read every comment and look forward to building this community together. Be well and be strong.